In today's video, we're playing Dragon Block C for 200 Minecraft days. Well, kind of. We've already played Dragon Block C for 100 days, so make sure you check out that video first so you know what's happening in this one. And of course, this video took an extremely long time to make, so if you enjoy it, please do consider subscribing, and let's get into the next 100 days. Day 101 and we're ready to start. Our base is looking cool. We actually head to Namek because I want to find Frieza. A lot of you guys were saying that I can find Frieza on Namek and that the Namekian Dragon Balls should spawn. I obviously greeted the locals in my normal fashion and I looked the whole day for Frieza and the Dragon Balls and I didn't have any luck. On day 102 though, we find Frieza's ship. They've got these cool healing pods inside with really awesome doors. I tried to take the doors, but apparently you can't mine them. Frieza unfortunately doesn't have anything he can teach me, I'm already too powerful. I also find Elder Guru's place, and he spawns in and because I'm evil he won't talk to me, so I just leave. I go home and I just kill some of the wildlife in this dirty stony biome. Day 103 is here and I'm tending to my sheep. I love these guys. I even dye them some different colours because I need some different wool because I want to actually make future Trunks' outfit and I think we look dapper in it. I also fully enchant the gear, so it's now ready to be used. On day 104, I'm actually making myself some vanity items, so I make this black shirt just so that our full outfit looks even better, and we get attacked by this evil lady, so I just get rid of her. I gather all of our sugarcane from the beach, and I gather some Sakura logs because there's actually a block I really want to make called the Sakura paper wall. And I think it looks really cool and we need a lot of paper and a lot of Sakura planks for it. So we're going to have to build a new sugarcane farm. But before we do that, we go to the Nether because I want to actually fight the Wither. So I'm farming Wither skeletons and I decide I'm going to try to make a little area, like a platform for them to spawn on. I spent the whole day here trying to make that and it doesn't actually help that much in the end. On day 106, I'm blowing up some of this Nether fortress because I thought maybe it would limit the spawn areas. I don't know if this actually helped, but you know, we still got our first Wither skull today. On day 107, I get my second Wither skull and I spend the rest of the day going through like different fortresses, killing Wither skeletons, and I don't unfortunately get another skull today. On day 108, I'm blowing up some more of the Nether because it's fun. And I really dislike this area in particular. But on day 108, that's it. We finally have all of the skulls we need. But when I leave the Nether, it spawns me into a new portal. It's close to my base, but it was just a bit weird. I cook up some dinosaur meat and I take it with me because we can always use food. And then I spawn in the Wither for the first time. I've never actually fought this boss, so this was quite funny to just hit him once and kill him. Maybe I'll fight him for real one time. I also harvested all of the obsidian from this portal and made ourselves a beacon. It's my first ever beacon. On day 110, I'm clearing out some more of the trees from my base because I want to build a cactus farm in this area. I saw in the comments of the previous video, the first 100 days, that someone was very upset that I didn't build a cactus farm. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to do it right now. So look at this, I'm building the perfect cactus farm. Well, kind of. I actually put those fences too high, but I won't realize that for a few days. So on day 111, I'm actually building the next part of the farm. And it's incorrect so far, but I don't know that yet, so this is just torture to watch back. And then I actually find 2 Dragon Balls really close to our base. So I pick them up and I do a little bit of terraforming and a little bit more construction on this farm because I want it to look good. It can't just be, you know, a hideous farm in my base. That's no. So I spend most of the next day building up this farm and I don't really have a design for this. I'm sort of just freestyling this as I go. And so far I think it looks okay. But I run out of resources while I'm building, so I go to gather some more so that we can actually finish the walls. And this is when I realize this farm is completely busted, so I spend the rest of the day fixing it. On day 113, I spend the whole day working on this build. And by the end of the day, this is how we're looking. I think it looks quite nice. The windows, I think, really add to this build, so I'm quite happy with how it's turned out so far. On day 114, I actually decide we need some quartz for this build. So back to the nether I go, and I'm mining some of that beautiful quartz. I also grabbed some glowstone while we're here. Now we've got light around. Awesome. On day 115, I'm still working on this farm, and I think it's really coming along. I need some black wool though, because the roof is going to be real fancy like. And there we have it. It's looking pretty cool. I think it is quite a unique building. Add some doors and we're done. On day 116, I'm mining. It's called Minecraft after all, so, you know, I gotta do some mining every now and again. I also add a path from our house to our new farm, and I, you know, do a little bit of decorating. I think it's looking pretty cool. Gotta bone mill this place up as well. There's also a Dragon Ball here. Oh, everything's looking up. I also decide on day 116 that we're gonna fight Whis and carry on with the saga. So, you know, I'm charging up my beam. I'm gonna hit him with a full blast let it beam, and he doesn't die in one hit, so I was really impressed. He also gets me pretty low, down to 12%, so that was a really good fight. On day 117, I'm in my gravity room doing some training. And I love this space. This is really good for grinding out some TP real quick. Day 118, and I'm chopping down some more trees on the hill next to my storage ship. So I actually think I'm going to build the sugarcane farm up here, so I need to clear some space and terraform just a little bit. I also make these yellow Sakura paper walls, and don't know how I feel about those. But by the end of the day, I start placing out the frame of our sugarcane farm. And I'm definitely going to utilize these Sakura paper walls because I think they look fantastic. On day 119, I'm adding in the floor so I can actually get the sugarcane growing because I actually need it to finish this farm off. Add some glowstone in so that the build will always be bright, and then we're ready to plant the sugarcane. During the night, I decide it's time to take on some freezer soldiers, so I charge up an avalanche and I'm going to yeet it down at them, and it does a lot of damage to them. I think it kills most of them, but some of them manage to survive, so I just go around, you know, punch them until they're all gone. And we did that in base form, so that's just how strong we are. On day 120, I'm still working on the sugarcane farm. I'm just adding some wooden support beams all around, and I think it's looking pretty good so far. I also decide to take on Shisami from the Golden Freezer arc. And he's not too much of a threat. I basically just hit him with one let it beam and he's done. A one shot done kill. And then I fight dinosaurs because they're still not extinct. And they need to be extinct. On day 121, I'm gathering some dark oak logs because I want to replace the spruce logs that I currently have in the sugarcane farm. I also make a new key wave technique called Frosty, and we're going to test it out right now against Captain Ginyu. He's taken over Tagoma's body, and we're just going to delete him once and for all from our universe. This move is awesome. On day 122, I'm back at the sugarcane farm. I'm replacing all the spruce with dark oak so it looks real fancy, and I'm going to work on this for the rest of the day. By the end of the day, we're just getting ready to put the roof on. On day 123, it's more roof building, and this is a delicate procedure, so I'm taking my time. I also decide to take on Freezer. He's looking really bulky, but with our new move Frosty, it should be a piece of cake. And one hit, and he's almost done. We get him with a let it beam, and he's out of there. I also gather all of the sugarcane from our farm because we're going to need it to finish off the walls. And now we can actually do that. This build is really coming along. On day 124, I'm gathering some more Sakura logs because we're going to need them for our roof. After a whole day of putting on the roof, we only got one side completely finished. This side is still a bit iffy. I then spend the rest of the night training in my gravity room. On day 125, I decided it's time to kill myself, so I let Freezer do the honors. You're probably wondering why I did that. Well, I want to become good, and to do that I needed to get rid of my margin mark. And because we're already in Otherworld, I decide let's gather some materials, like these precious mahogany logs. Maybe one day I'll have a desk like yours. I get revived and I plant some mahogany trees in my base just so it looks even richer. I then spend the rest of the day finishing off the roof of the sugarcane farm. Unfortunately though, from this angle, It does not look very good, so we're going to tear that down and try something new. On day 126, I'm putting that new roof on, and I've got a good feeling about this. By the end of the day, this is how we're looking, and I think this looks way better. On day 127, I'm gathering all of that sweet sugar cane, and I'm killing some dinosaurs. They're still not extinct. Can you believe it? I spend some of my hard-earned TP to level myself up, and then I get back to training. On day 128, I start out with some beautiful training so we can get strong. And by Goku's house, I actually find a Dragon Ball. That's perfect. I also forgot I destroyed it. Whoops. I also find the last Dragon Block I need to summon Shenron in the desert. So we go straight back home to summon Shenron, because someone told me you can wish to be good. Oh, you can't do that. That was a debate. So I get a catch-in shard, and I am just kind of upset right now. So I go to take my frustration out on Golden Frieza, and we hit him with a Frosty, and it absolutely shreds his HP. See you later, Frieza. We've also started our journey to becoming good. On day 129, I take on Botamo. We're going to hit him with a Frosty, and he's going to be taken out real quick. I then decide to take on Frost. It's pretty much the same story. One Frosty, and he's out of there. I then grab as much gravel as I can. Free gravel. And then it's Magetta's time. And guess what he's about to be hit with? That's right, it's a Frosty, but I'm in base form because I'm feeling pretty confident. It doesn't do too much damage, but after a while, we finally get him down. And then I take on Cabba. And I'm trying to power up here, but that was a stupid mistake because he actually ends us. Ugh. I'm going to make sure these Saiyans regret what they did. By the end of the day, I've been revived, I've collected all of my gear, and I'm ready to take on Cabba once again. And this time, I'm not in base form, so he doesn't stand a chance. And he's gone. On day 130, I spend the day making the area between my sugarcane farm and my house a little bit nicer. I build a path, add some lights, and by the end of the day, it looks pretty good. I also go and tend to my sheep because I love these guys and I need the wool so that I can cover up some of this glowstone. Day 131, I admire my path, it looks great, and then I take on Super Saiyan Cabba. This filthy monkey needs to be destroyed, so that's what we do with the Frosty technique. Easiest fight of my life. I then take on Hit, and now Hit, he's pretty strong. But I guess I'm just stronger because Frosty absolutely shreds him. And once we beat Hit, we became good. So we're now 69% good. Nice. I get my first Sensu Bean from Koran in ages and I'm so happy. I even did a little dance. It was beautiful. I then learned Defense Penetration and Ki Infuse from Trunks and God Form and Ultra Instinct from Whis. Oh my god, those skills have been blocked from me for too long. I tried out God Form and we look insanely cool. Those red eyes are badass. I then kill myself once again because I want to get Kaioken from King Kai. We also pick up Ki Boost and now we have basically every skill. I max out everything we just unlocked and I'm ready to head back home. So we run along Snake Way and we test out our key weapon. We've got a key scythe. It looks incredible. I can't wait to use this on some enemies. So I go and I make sure some more dinosaurs are extinct. On day 132, I'm doing some more training in my gravity room. And I decide that I would like to build a healing pod in there so that I could train more efficiently. I built this structure and put some healing water in it, but it doesn't seem to work. So I tear it down and I decide that the healing pod might be cool if it was in the floor. So I spend the rest of the day making that happen. It still doesn't work though. On day 133, I'm still testing out this healing pond. Why doesn't it work? I don't know. I'm going to figure it out though. In the meantime, however, I'm going to do some more training because we need to get even stronger than before. On day 134, I decide to get rid of my cows. This pen is kind of ugly. I just want to get rid of it. Maybe I'll put a barn here later on. Who knows? I also decide to take on Monaka. And I do this in God form with Kaioken times 100. And we hit him for 61,000. That was nice. I also decide I actually do want to build that barn, so we're going to do it right now. The sheep are a bit cramped in that tiny barn that they have, so I decided, I want them to have a nice, luxurious space. And by the end of day 135, we've got a pretty cool looking barn. It's even got a nice mahogany roof. I spend the rest of the day trying to lure some sheep from their original pen that's very cramped into the new pen. And it took an extremely long time, but luckily there were no casualties, although this was almost disastrous. On day 136, I went mining to gather some more resources. And then I took on Copy Vegeta. Now, I don't remember Copy Vegeta in the manga, maybe it's an anime thing, but he was pretty easy. I just hit him with a Frosty, and he was gone. I then took on Copy Vegeta Blue on day 137. I guess he's also an anime thing. And he's also now deleted from my memory. I'm also feeling pretty bad about Goku and Gohan's house. Sorry about that, guys. Maybe I'll do something about this in the future. But for now, we're going to do some mining. I'm also finally giving this building a use. It's going to be a smelting room. I tried to build like some kind of auto smelter. I didn't really have an idea of how this worked, and I tried this for a few days, and I had some mixed results. But in the end, we will eventually get something that works nicely. It's just going to be a painful few days. On day 139, I also injure myself, so I can achieve Ultra Instinct. And oh my god, it looks amazing. It's not Mastered Ultra Instinct, but this is a good enough start. We take on Goku Black, and I love Ultra Instinct. You just get to dodge attacks, the particles look amazing. Oh, it's incredible. It powers you up a bit as well, so it's an all-round great ability. We finish Goku Black off with a Frosty, and that fight was a lot of fun. But now we have the pain debuff, and that makes us move really slowly, and it's really annoying. On day 140, I'm still dealing with this pain, so I'm going to look after my sheep. And I do some more work on the smelter. And by the end of the day, we've got this monstrosity. Yeah, this isn't looking too good right now, but maybe it will work. Yeah, it didn't work, so I'm tearing it down on day 141. I told you this was going to be a slow and painful process. I wasn't kidding. We also enter into Mastered Ultra Instinct on day 141, and we take on Zamasu. Now, Zamasu isn't very strong, and with Mastered Ultra Instinct, we dodge quite a lot. So this fight was really easy. I really love just dodging through key attacks. I think it's so cool. And we just finished him off with a couple of punches. And we had a little dance in Ultra Instinct form because we can. And then we bombed some of the surrounding area. On day 142, I'm testing out this smelter, and it's absolutely terrible. Only 2 of the furnaces ever turn on, so by the end of the day, I have a new design that works slightly better. On day 143, I'm still messing around with this, and it's slowly getting there, but it's still not its final form. We also take on Goku Black, which is an incredibly fun fight, but with 1 charged Frosty and Kaioken times 100, he didn't stand a chance. We also gather some coal because, we've got a smelter now, so that's real good. And then we go mining for the rest of the day. On day 144, yeah, this still isn't working. But it's fine because we're taking on Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. And this fight was incredible. We finish him off with an avalanche, which was really epic. Because look at that destruction. And then I spend the rest of the day training in my gravity room. On day 145, we're taking on Goku Black and Zamasu at the same time. This fight was a lot of fun, and you'll see in the end, we have some epic fight in the rain. Zamasu is the first to go down with a Let It Beam. Now it's just me and Goku Black. We're fighting in the rain. I go into Mastered Ultra Instinct, and we have an epic battle. A few punches later, and he's done. I then spend the rest of the night making sure that dinosaurs will one day be extinct. On day 146, I find a new Dragon Ball, and then I head to Namek. I'm killing some more dinosaurs here because they're not extinct in Namek either. That's weird. And then I go to Frieza's ship because I think I'm gonna AFK here and wait to see if any dragon blocks spawn. Been a whole day, we're on day 147 and not a single dragon block has spawned. I really think maybe they don't spawn in Namek. On day 148, we head home, and I learn that if you're neutral, Korin won't give you a Sensei bean. I finally fix my smelter with this lever. It kind of works, it's not a great system, but it works well enough for me. Success, they're finally all smelting. I then go and get the medical liquid from my training room because it's just not working there. I add some lava because it's a nice light and I've already made this space. And then I start working on a healing pod in our training room. I remember seeing in Freezer's space that the healing pod had 6 spaces of medical water. So I try emulating that and it appears to work. But we need some more medical liquid, so I go and gather some medical moss from Namek. And this is probably one of the last times I'm gonna come here. We add in the last bit of medical liquid and we've now got a fully functioning healing chamber. So I decide on day 149 we're gonna do some training. And this thing is great. It heals you quickly and it even replenishes hunger. What a fantastic device. And then with all the training we've done, we can now max our first stat. Our mind stat is now fully maxed out. Maybe I can max all of my stats. Who knows? On day 150, we've got a lot of dino meat. That's nice. So I decide to go and do some mining. And I spend the whole day down in the mines. On day 151, I'm still mining. During the night, we took on Fused Zamasu, and this model looked so cool. Probably one of my favorites so far. I hit him with a Let It Beam and we begin our epic confrontation. He knocks me out of using my Frosty technique, which was really good. And then this mob dives in front of him like, let me save you, Mr. President. But in the end, we get him with a Frosty. And he's out of there. On day 152, I make a disc key attack called Frozen Pizza. What else was I going to call it? Let's be honest. And then I went mining. I also decided that it's about time we fixed up Goku's house. So I do a little bit of sand gathering, a little bit of dirt gathering. On day 153, I'm making the crater below Goku's house even bigger because I've got this plan to make a floating island and just redecorate this place in general. By the end of the day, I've got the basic framework made and all we have to do now is fill out the rest of this. It's going to take some time, but it should be fine. On day 154, we're taking on Fused Zamasu once again, but this time, he's unstable. And he's got a really cool model. Again, I think this is one of my favorite models in this mod. I'm just going to yeet my frozen pizza at him, and I love how big this attack is. It looks really cool, and the explosion is just a nice added touch. And of course, we finish him off with Avalanche, and we have some nice destruction. I gather some grass blocks with my Silk Touch pickaxe because I need grass to spread on Goku's platform. So that's what we're doing here, and then I start to fill this platform in. This is going to take a really long time if I do this manually. So I think I'm going to have to build a better builder's wand. And we're going to do that shortly, but first I need more dirt. Now I'm building the wand. I build a diamond one to start with, just because I don't know how much durability these things actually have. And it is making this so much quicker. Look at that. We got 3/4 of this platform filled in, but we also used 3/4 of its durability. On day 155, I'm farming for Wither Skulls once again, because I can actually make an unbreaking wand with a Nether Star. I make myself a Looting 2 sword because it should speed up the process of finding Wither Skulls, and it does really help in the end. We actually get some skulls really quickly. There's a second one, nice. And here we get our last skull. It takes us only 1 day, which is absolutely incredible. So it's time to fight the Wither once more. We spawn him in and we hit him with a Let It Beam and he is absolutely demolished. And there it is, our unbreaking wand. Beautiful. This is a beast of a wand. It has no durability. Oh, I love it. And I give Goku a nice mahogany floor. We've upgraded his house. On day 155 at night, we also take on Fused Zamasu once again, and this time, we finish him off completely. On day 156, I'm adding more grass to Goku's platform. I also need to clear out more of this space underneath. And of course, we're going to need a lot more dirt. And during the night, we take on Hit once again. This time, I fight him in my super form, using Kaioken and a frozen pizza. He's out of there. On day 157, I go to talk to Whis and I get him to teleport me to the null dimension. I also ask Basil to kill me because, yep, that's right, we're getting Mystic Form from King Kai. You can only get this if you're 100% good, so that's why we're getting it now. I then spend the rest of the day training in my gravity room. On day 158, I'm gathering more dirt. I'm gonna need so much for this platform, and I'm putting on a second layer right now. We also do a little bit of landscaping around Goku's house just to make it blend with the environment better. And by the end of the day, this is looking pretty cool. On day 159, we're gathering some dirt from the Dirty Stony biome. And I'm using this block as kind of a gradient between the dirt, and we're going to add some stone underneath. And I think it's going to look really cool. Once we get all of this stone in, we only need to fill in the bottom and this will be completely finished. We're almost there. Goku's island is really coming along. On day 160, I gathered a lot of stone and I'm filling this bottom in, but I just don't have enough. So I plant some mahogany trees on Goku's land, and we also bone mill the place to make it look extra fancy. I'm also gathering lots of stone because we're going to need it, and while we're gathering stone, we actually kill this NPC and she drops this card that spawns in a new friend for us. And we can actually trade with her, and she kind of works like a farmer villager, which is really cool. And once you kill her, you get the card back, so that's cool. We'll take her to our base later on. I'm going to finish this base off today on day 160. Goku's island is almost done. On day 161, we're gathering the last materials we need to finish off Goku's place. We get them put in, and this place is now looking really cool. I'm super happy with how this turned out. And now I think, anyone that was mad that I destroyed this island, you can rest easy. On day 161, we're taking on Basil as well. So this fight was pretty easy. I just threw my beautiful frozen pizza at him and he was absolutely destroyed. We take on Lavender, and Lavender, he put a bit more of a fight, but still too easy for me. And obviously, once Lavender was finished, we needed to take on Bergamo. Bergamo, again, he hits really hard, but with a little bit of dodging and weaving, he was really easy to take down. And I celebrated by having a little dance because, why not? And then I did some farming in the rain, and I killed this fire lady because I don't like her. I also traded with our new friend, and we got some tokens, which was really cool. Day 162, I'm training in my gravity room once again. On day 163, you guessed it, we're back in here training. I have a dream to max out all my stats, so there's going to be a lot of training. I also gather some of the sugarcane, because you can also make white mahogany paper walls. And these look really awesome, so we're going to use that in a future build. And then on day 164, we go to the end. And I'm killing all of these Ender Girls just to see if they would drop something cool. And they dropped one of those cards that spawn in an NPC. So that was really cool. And there she is. There's our new friend, the Ender Girl. She has really bad trades. I don't think I'm ever going to use her trades very effectively, but at least we have them. On day 165, we're making some more armor. We make Piccolo's set. And it looks pretty cool, but I prefer Trunks' stuff, so we're putting it back on. And then we go to face Toppo. And this fight was real fun, but just throwing one frozen pizza at him, and he's done. We also find our first village during the night. On the next day, I find a desert temple, but the loot was really bad, so it wasn't really worth coming here. So I just blow it up because it wasted my time. I also take on Gohan because we need to do a bit of training for the Tournament of Power. I take him down with a nice frosty attack. It was basically a one-hit kill. Sorry, Gohan. And then we take on Krillin and his head was back to front and it was really creepy, but I throw my frozen pizza at him because, he's got Destructo Disc, I've got frozen pizza. It just makes sense. And then we finish him off with a Let It Beam. On day 167, I find 2 Dragon Blocks. That was awesome. And then we start the Tournament of Power. I'm taking on Bergamo, Lavender, and Basil at the same time. and they all go down pretty quickly thanks to my epic key attacks. We also go and kill some more of the end girls because I thought it might be a quick way to get iron, but I was wrong. We find another village on day 168, and using one of the ender girls I've got, I trade up for some string, make some wool, and trade with some villagers. We also take on Cow and Caulifla today. These girls are really strong, I know that firsthand, but keeping my distance and using all of my strong key attacks, they went down pretty quickly. We're getting big on day 169. Nice. I train most of the day because I still want to max out all of my stats. That's still my dream for this series. And then I take on Caulifla in Super Saiyan. I go all the way to Kaioken times 100, hit her with one letter beam and it finishes her off. And we also get to level 69. Nice, I dance to celebrate. We then take on Cow as well because I'm just feeling indestructible right now. Level 69 on day 169? That's just poetic. On day 170, we're back in our gravity room doing some more training. Our stats are really coming along. They're looking pretty good so far, but we've got a long way to go before we're maxed. I tend to my sheep because, you know, I am a big fan of these guys and I make myself Vegito's armor. It looks interesting on me. I don't know if I'm a big fan. We also take on Brienne in our new armor. And honestly, Brienne is just... what's she even doing? Why is she even here? Does she think she can actually face me? Of course she can't. Get rid of her. On day 171, you guessed it, we're doing some more training. And we also go back to the null dimension, enter into Ultra Instinct, and we're going to take on Dispo in Ultra Instinct. I love fighting in Ultra Instinct. It's kind of scary because your health is dangerously low, but just dodging and watching that dodge animation really makes it cool. I also decide to take on Toppo while I'm still in Ultra Instinct because there's a limit for how long you can stay in this form, obviously. So we take him on and I just give him a nice little punch to the face and he is done. 9,001 damage, it's over 9,000. On day 172, I go out exploring. I haven't really seen much of this world in like hindsight, so I just wanted to go out, gather some new materials, and then in the evening we take on Jiren. It's the first fight with Jiren and we get him with an avalanche. And he's still up, so we hit him with a Frosty as well. He was quite resilient. On day 173, we're doing some decorating before we get back into some training. Day 174, I am back in the end. I really thought these Ender Girls were good for farming emeralds and iron, but by the end of the day, we didn't have too much. On day 175, we take on Kefla, and her beam attacks are amazing. Did you see how big they were? They're insane. Look, they even pushed back my frozen pizza, which was just incredible. This fight was a lot of fun, but in the end, we knock her out with a Frosty. But that's not all. We fight her once again in Super Saiyan form. She's kind of glitching in the ground at the moment, but I go Kaioken times 100 because I want to finish her in one hit. But I actually don't. She had too much HP. I was shocked. I thought, that's it, I've got her. But we're just going to have to hit her now with an avalanche and end this madness. On day 176, there's still dinosaurs in my world, and I don't understand. I thought they should be extinct by now. I'm of course cooking up all of their glorious meat as well because we need it, and 2 dragon blocks spawn on my estate. Now this is a good day. We also spend a lot of the day training because I need those max stats and we don't have many days left. But today we max out our second stat. We maxed out our spirit stat. Nice. I go to pay Goku a visit, and I actually find a Dragon Ball near his house, which was really cool. I also decide that I want to build a pumpkin farm just outside my base, literally right next to my house, just because I think it will look good here and we can actually use the pumpkins to trade with our farmer friend. On day 178, we're doing some chores around our base. I'm also collecting some mahogany logs because I'm going to need them for a future project that we're going to work on tomorrow. I then spend the rest of the day down in my mines doing some mining. On day 179, I've chose this area for our new project. So I'm clearing out some space here, getting rid of some trees, doing some terraforming, and landscaping because we are going to put in a shrine to a mahogany table right here. We're going to be working on this for a few days. This is how it looks right now. At the moment, it's kind of weird, but in the end, it will look okay, I think. We add on a roof, and it's raining, so it's a terrible time to put on a roof, actually. This is the worst time. This is how it's looking inside at the moment. This is the table. I'm actually going to change this later on because I decide this table isn't actually that good. And this is how the building looks on the outside. Kind of bad at the moment, but we'll fix it up in a bit. On day 181, we find another dragon block. That was really lucky. And then I change up some of the walls on this mahogany shrine. I go to Namek because some of you guys suggested maybe I should try summoning the dragon here with the Earth Dragon Balls. But yeah, it didn't work. And I was mad, so I killed Shenron. Sorry, Shenron. Sorry. We placed the Dragon Ball on our table, and this is when I realized that this table sucks. And then I spend the rest of the day training. It's the next day, and our pumpkins are starting to grow nicely, so I harvest some and I trade with our new farmer friend because I actually want to buy a cake from her eventually. I do some more farming, and then I go back to training in our gravity room. On day 183, I'm doing more of the same. We're collecting more pumpkins. We're actually going to fix up this mahogany table shrine because I really disliked how it looked. So I went with something kind of similar to my house, and I think in the end, this looks way better than it did. It's still not amazing, but it's better than it was. And then I end the day with some more pumpkin gathering. On day 184, we're doing some more training. We are gonna max out our stats. And today we can actually max out our willpower, so that's really cool. 3 down, 3 to go. I also find a dragon block right next to my training room, so that was really cool. On day 185, I go to visit Whis to get some heavy training weights because we need some, and we look pretty ridiculous in them. But they will really help us with our grind. On day 186, I'm growing some mega spruce trees around our base. I also decide that I want to build a path to our mahogany shrine. So that's what I do, and I think it's looking real nice. On day 187, we're doing more training. That's right, more training. Day 188, I'm gathering pumpkins just to, give myself something else to do other than training. I'm getting some more training weight from Whis because all my suits broke, and then I'm training. And as I'm finished, there's actually 2 dragon blocks that have spawned, which was really lucky. So I grabbed both of them. Day 189, it's more of the same. We're getting more pumpkins. We actually buy the cake that I dreamt of. And I decide to add a watermelon farm right next to our training room, just to fill in this space, and I think it will look good. I also spend a lot of the day training, and it really pays off because by the end of the day, we can actually max out our 4th stat. Constitution is now maxed. On day 190, 2 robots tried to use my training room without paying, so they paid with their lives. And we've got our first watermelon grown. Nice. I spend the morning of a day 191 in my mahogany shrine, and then I get straight back to training. We're so close to maxing out all our stats. I can feel it. 9 days to go, but I think we can do it. On day 192, I'm finally getting rid of this table. It's been plaguing this room for too long. We now have more of a coffee table design, but look, Dragon Balls can go on it. It's beautiful. I also decorate this build a bit more, add some leaves in, bone meal the place up, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I then add my beacon to our storage ship. Just because I wanted the beam coming out, I thought it looked pretty cool, and I'm not going to use the beacon anywhere else, I guess. I'm also then spending the rest of the day training. Day 193, I'm shearing my sheep again. I love those guys. And then I'm training. And today, we're doing it. We're leveling up our decks to 5,000. 5 out of 6 stats have been fully maxed. So it's time we take on the God of Destruction Topo. And we're also in our God form. Also in Kaioken times 100. And I one-shot him, that's right. I'm the real God of Destruction around here, Topo. I do a little dance because I'm feeling real good about that. On day 194, I find a couple more Dragon Balls, which was really lucky because now we can summon Shenron. And he's alive! We are going to get some Sensei beans and then off he goes. Thank you, Shenron. And then we spend the rest of the day training. And I trained so long that I could watch the sunrise. On day 195, I'm back with my sheep. These guys, they're my best friends in this world. And then I try a new tactic. I'm actually training hitting them with the training weight. It didn't work too well. On day 196, I go give Babadi a visit and I get back the margin mark. We're evil once again, baby. We go straight to Namek, make sure the dinosaurs are extinct here, and then we greet the Namekians. It's been a while, but it's nice to see you guys once again. On day 197, you just got to ask yourself, where are these dinosaurs coming from? I also spend a lot of the day training because I only need to max out strength, and I can do it. I know I can. The sun's rising again. That was a full day of training, but we're still not there yet. Day 198. I feel like this is going to be the day where all of our training has finally paid off. We have maxed every single stat. I was so happy. Look how cool we look as well. We're looking insanely good. On day 199, I'm killing all these Valkyries because they drop diamond shards as well. So we can actually get enough diamonds to make a block. And then with this block, we can put our cake on it on day 200. We've got 2 cakes, so we put one on a diamond, one on an emerald. And this is a great way to celebrate our 200 days. I'm going to take a bite of our cake and then get into all of the important stuff. Our base has come a long way. This looks absolutely amazing. I'm super happy with this and I'm really glad that I spent time making it look good. But there's one thing that I definitely want to build. It's a monument to myself. I built my face on the wall of our dirty stony biome and I'm super happy with it. We look incredible. It's us in our god form and I'm super happy with how we did this. Now it's time to take Jiren on in base form because a lot of you wanted to see that. So here we go. We turn on key protection, key scythe as well because I'm going to need all the help I can get. Beams do hardly anything against him, but using Frosty does kind of decrease his health quite a bit until he fires his own key blast. I use Avalanche as well, but he jumps over it. I was really impressed with that. I thought, damn, Jiren, what a legend. And this fight took quite some time, but then I realized that my key scythe does mad damage, so I went straight back in there and I stabbed him up until we beat Jiren in base form. That's right. That's how strong we are. But I decide it's now time to take him on once again, and we go god form. So this time, me and Jiren are going toe-to-toe on equal terms. I'm in my god form, I deal insane damage now. That beam almost one-shots him. I could have probably actually one-shot him. But in the end, we finish him off with Avalanche. And this has been an amazing experience. These 200 days have been so much fun. We've got to the end, we've got the credits, and we've finished everything I wanted to in this series. Our base looks amazing. I'm super happy with how it turned out. And I just want to thank you guys so much for supporting me during these 200 days. You guys have been incredible. We've got some insane growth from the last video. And of course, if you enjoyed this one, please do consider subscribing. Leave me a like and comment down below, and I will see you guys in another video soon. Peace out.